Welcome, folks, to this month's segment of Baker Forward Fire Watch. We've got some interesting topics to cover today. I've got one of my old standbys here, Howard Ward, Randy Ward, I call him. You know?
Randy.
Randy.
That's my new nickname.
That's your new nickname. So, welcome aboard with us, Howard.
Oh, always a pleasure, Chief, to be with you on this show.
Like I said, we got some interesting topics. We got a special guest for our second and third segment. But Howard, we just went through a time change, and we encourage our citizens to change batteries, check their batteries.
That's right.
Let's go over that again. It's just a reminder. I know we passed the time change, but let's tell our folks what we expect. We got two different types of smoke detectors that we use. Folks, we have the old standbys that you have to change batteries, then we got the ones with the 10-year batteries, which are not, you don't have to change them quite as often, but we also want to encourage you to check the ones with the 10-year batteries. So Howard, why don't you go over that a little bit?
Well, you know, Chief, every year it's kind of one of those things, twice a year really, in the spring and the fall, you know, spring forward, fall back. We always encourage people to go, when you change your time, check your battery, your smoke detectors, and make sure the batteries will function. Some of them are 10-year lives. Right. Some of them are just still have the old type 9-volt batteries. Make sure they work. There's a little test button on them. Right. That's a great time to check it. And not only check your smoke detectors, but also make sure your house is fire safe. Check all that that you think that you may need to look out for. You know, it's always a great time to do that.
You know, Howard, we go through a lot of time and expense and all to make Baker safe as far as fires and other things. And like I said, in our second and third segment, we're going to talk about child safety,
that's
child
going
restraints.
That's going to be something really good.
But we do spend a lot of money in trying to make Baker safe, and our statistics have shown that we've cut down the fatalities in fires and also the incidences of fires. That's right. Dramatically.
Well, that's because you've always said you want to be proactive instead of reactive.
That's exactly right. We've gone over the smoke detectors. There's a couple of events, folks, that we want to remind you of. Number one is we're having a Pastor Appreciation Day. We've tried to do that for many years here in Baker. The new council and the mayor finally have come together with a time and a date. We've got all the pastors coming together, and this is going to be at the Baker Fire Station on 3701 Groom Road. And it's going to be on March the 16th at 8 a.m. Baker Fire Department is providing breakfast for the pastors and their spouses. And we encourage all the pastors to participate. We want to make it an annual event. And I know Councilman Heine was instrumental in putting this together along with Councilwoman Burgess. Mayor Heine, as I call him, he's always held on to that name, mayor, because you know, that's all we've known him all his life and all our life as mayor. But it's a thing that's dear to his heart and everybody's heart. We're finally putting it together, and we're going to have a good event. We're going to have a child passenger seat inspection at our fire station on Saturday, April the 6th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We encourage everyone to come out and be a part of that. Get your seats checked. If you need a seat, can't afford one, then we're going to make sure you have one. We never want you to leave without having your seat properly installed and inspected or replaced if it need be. April the 6th, Howard, we've got the Zippity Zoo Day.
Zippity, won't you spell that for me, Chief?
Zippity Zoo Day. I can barely pronounce it, much less.
Zippity Zoo Day, that's an annual event that we're invited to with Baker Fire Department. Of course, it's at the Baton Rouge Zoo. It's a great event. Several hundred people come through there. We set up our safety trailer. We get the smoke flowing, give the kids the chance to go through the smokehouse. Yeah,
that's always a great event. We always give away a lot of literature and stuff. One other thing that's big to us, our big new $500,000 rig, our training trailer, it's been requested that we bring it back to the FDIC convention, the world's largest convention. It's going to be in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's April 22nd through the 27th. We've requested to have our trailer brought up there, put on display, in front of the Lucas Oil Stadium. It's a big event. They always want us to come put it on display because of the type trailer it is and the graphics that we have on it.
Right.
That's always a big event.
That is. You know, Chief, y'all went last year. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go, but y'all said that was a great event. There was several thousand people that got a chance to see the City of Baker's training trailer, and the company that built it for us, Kidd.
Yeah.
They're so proud of it. They wanted us back again this year, as you well said. That so it's a great opportunity. I also want to take this time, Chief, and tell you, you know, you said something about being proactive during fire prevention. We're talking about upcoming events. As people out there in the City of Baker see, we're very busy, and we always want to stay busy with functions. We got events, we got training, we doing this, and we can't forget the guys that make the difference, and that's the guys that ride the fire trucks every day, 24 hours a day.
Well, you know, Howard, I said this when I was with Baton Rouge Fire Department, and I'll say it here too. If a bomb would hit the administrative building and wipe out all the administrative staff and everything, God forbid, the fire truck's still going to roll and put out fires and save lives. On the other hand, they need us to put together grants and stuff like that.
Monies and grants and stuff like that.
We're certainly proud of our guys. We have our moments, but we're proud of our guys and stuff. But and I appreciate everything that you and Miss Kathy Page do for us, and I just want to reiterate that to you. And is anything else that we need to cover right now?
No, that's about it, Chief. We just, you know, we're going into this new year. We're at the third month here. It seems like this year is starting to really fly by. We're looking at spring here right around the corner, so I'm excited about what we can do and help the citizens of Baker. And as you as our leader, and you've been a great person to work with, well, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Folks, we're going to go to break. Stay tuned. In our next segment, I'll have a special guest, Miss Crystal Pichon from Leckley's Kids. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
WLFT joins all TV stations in our area, reminding you to rescan your digital TV sets so you can pick up all of the new TV stations, which are broadcast free over the air. Hey, you bought the new high-definition TV, so now enjoy the free over-the-air entertainment like the new Country Channel on 30.3, featuring 24-hour music videos and concerts direct from Nashville. More new channels are planned, so change the batteries in your smoke detector and rescan Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, folks, to our second segment of Baker Forward Fire Watch. I have a special guest today, a dear friend of mine, along with her boss, Miss Leckley Overton. Her name is Crystal Pichon. Crystal is the executive director of Leckley's Kids. We're proud to be a part of the coalition for child safety restraints and installation and inspection of child safety seats. I understand, Crystal, you're originally from Slidell and a graduate of SLU, right?
I am. I certainly am.
Well, by the way, welcome.
Thank you.
You live here in Baton Rouge, and I see you love to watch HGTV and the Food Network.
And pretend that I can cook and rearrange my house every time I sit around and watch.
Howard and I pulled up a couple of run reports from your home. It seems like we've been there several times for smoke in the house and stuff like that. Is that true?
No, it's all false. It's a tale. Don't listen to anything you hear unless it's good.
You know, I love to cook, and anybody that can cook is a friend of mine. Crystal, it's been it's a pleasure to have you with us. And first thing I want to do is read a quote from our former U.S. Surgeon, Everett Koop. It says, "If a disease were killing our children in the proportions that injuries are, people would be outraged and demand that this killer disease be stopped." So it's very, very important that we look at it like that. Crystal, I want to ask you, what has been your motivation to be part of Leckley's Kids?
Wow. I graduated with a degree in kinesiology from Southeastern. I focused on child health, and I accidentally, no pun intended, fell into safety and did an internship, and it had to do with child safety. And I just fell in love with it from there. I mean, I don't have any children of my own, but that doesn't mean that you can't find a passion in loving children and keeping
Right.
kids safe. So, I mean, I got into it, and there is absolutely no getting me out of it.
That is so true. And Crystal, I first met you, you were with the Louisiana Safety Council, correct?
I was, and I still
and,
work very closely with them.
Well, good.
Still
That's a
great
good
friends.
organization and stuff. And like I said, we're pleased to be a part of the coalition with Lexley's Kids. And when I first got involved, we sent a couple of people to be techs. And most recently, we sent Kathy Page. I know you know Kathy.
Such an
well.
asset. Excited to have her.
She is an asset, not only in your field and Lexley's Kids, but an asset to the Baker Fire Department. And so, like I said, when I first met you and we got to be a part of Lexley's Kids, it was just an honor to see what y'all do and to, I know y'all's concern is if we save one life, our job is done.
Or at least it's begun. You save
That's
one and
right.
you can't stop doing it after that.
That's
So.
exactly right. A few statistics that I've got here. Louisiana statistics from the Department of Transportation. It's been 14 children's deaths, 9 unrestrained charges under the age of 13. And we've had actually a city of Baker recorded 183 child safety restraint violations. That's huge for a small town.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
That was a shockingly large number to hear from Baker. But you know what? Can't solve a problem until you know that there is one. So now that we
Exactly.
know, we can attack full force.
Exactly. And when I was first given these stats by Kathy and Howard, I asked if they were true stats, but we got to looking, and our officers do a lot out there. I know I've went by a couple of checkpoints recently where they check my seatbelts and stuff, and I'm not above reproach either, just like anybody else. So if I'm doing something wrong, I want them to hold me in
Right.
check.
Constructive criticism.
Exactly. Crystal, I've got to know Lexley real well, and I know her passion. And what is her drive, and what motivates her?
Well, Lexley comes from a long line of lawyers, so she was basically born into it. So I've learned that Lex is the Latin form of law, and Lee is her dad's name. So you take her dad's
Wow.
name and what she was born to be, and there she came. So she's an injury attorney, and she worked a case many years ago for a little girl who had been paralyzed in an automobile crash. Mother perished in the crash. Father was okay. Daughter was paralyzed. And she went into the case thinking that she was getting into some sort of seatbelt defect. And then upon her studying for her case, she started to realize all the different child restraint laws that there were and how much she did not know about it. So
Right.
she became interested, and she started to kind of research around, and then she was offered the opportunity to be a child passenger safety technician, and they told her it was a 5-day long class, and she said, "You're nuts." But even though she said that, she still went through with it, and from that point on, she has been going straight with it, and she has not stopped. So she figured that, I can help you if you get injured, but
Right.
why don't I try to prevent you from getting injured?
Exactly.
So that's where Lexley's Kids came along. Lexley has oftentimes said, if I could go my whole career without having to do another child injury case, I would
Right.
be just fine.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes from, and her passion is so deep.
Good, good.
She's so generous
I know
that she started an organization.
She's got a heart as big as this room, but I know, Crystal, there's a stat that I use a lot, and I heard you mention it earlier about the number of seats that are installed improperly. What is that number again that you?
9 out of 10.
Boy, that's a long.
I mean, so if we had 10 people in this room, one person might get it right, and that's a big might. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a long time since I found somebody who has done it 100% correct.
Right.
Doesn't happen very often.
Right.
And motor vehicle crashes is the #1 killer and injury causer of our children and just people in general. So
Yeah.
from 2 up, I mean, all the way through your mid-30s, that's the #1 cause of death and injury. So.
And you mentioned earlier that the class is 5 days. I know it's a strict class, a strong class, and not many people make it through, right?
Some people don't make it through. It's actually dropped from 5 days when Lexley and I went through it to 4 days, and it is a lot of information in 4 days.
Well, that's good. Well, we're about to end this portion of our segment, Crystal. Folks, stand by for the next segment. We're going to have Crystal back on again, and we're going to go do some show and tell stuff. And we want y'all to learn a lot from this segment, so we can make our kids safe in the roads we travel day to day, and the cars that we drive. We want to make sure that our kids are safe. So thank you. Stay tuned.
Promoting your business in these competitive times can be tough. You need to use everything possible to stand out in the crowd. Your vehicle is an asset most companies overlook when advertising. Now you can promote just like major companies by wrapping your vehicle with eye-catching graphics. Frogskin Graphics wraps boats, cars, trucks, and buildings. No job too large or small. Full-color banners, window graphics, and signs designed, printed, and installed by professionals. 683-9595.
Welcome back, folks, to our third and last segment of Baker Forward Fire Watch. Again, we have Miss Crystal Pichon from Lexley's Kids here with us, and she's going to go over some facts about child safety seats. We want to remind you once again about our child seat event April 6th from 10 to 2 at the Baker Fire Station. What we encourage you to do, we have the Zippity Zoo Days that day. I got that right, Crystal.
You did.
Zippity. We encourage you to, before you go to the Zippity Zoo Days, come by and get your seat checked, and we got a staff that's ready to do it. Once again, Crystal, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We couldn't get Howard to sit in this seat, so we're gonna have to do it without somebody in it.
You didn't want to be our guinea pig.
No, you didn't want to be our guinea pig, but why don't you tell us a little bit about, I'm going to open it up to you and let you spend as much time as you can, because I know it's a lot of facts and figures here.
It is. We'll get through as much as we can.
There you go. But go ahead and tell us something about this seat and some facts and figures about it.
Okay, so first we want to tell Walmart thank you for letting us borrow this seat, the Baker Walmart. Without them, we wouldn't really have anything to show you today, so we want to tell them thank you. But this is going to be a forward-facing combination seat. Now, there are tons of different kinds of car seats. This, of course, would not be appropriate for a smaller child. This is a forward-facing only seat, so this would be for a child who's at least 20 pounds and up through 40.
Right,
okay,
right.
So the good thing about this seat is, since it's a combination seat, it's a combination of two different kinds of car seats. So you have a harness that goes to 40 pounds, and then after the child reaches 40 pounds, you take this harness out and you run the seatbelt across the car seat, and it turns into a booster seat until 100 pounds. So it's almost like a 2-in-1.
Yeah,
so you could considerably think that you may not have to buy another car seat after this. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do, having a car seat is great, but it does you no good if you're not using it correctly. So you want to make sure that you put your child in the car seat correctly. You want to make sure that the straps are nice and snug on the child, not tight. We don't want to hurt them. I know that sometimes they get a little antsy and you want to give them a little yank, but you want to make sure it's not too tight. Make sure that it's just snug. And as long as you can't gather any excess strap together, you're good. If you can gather excess strap and kind of grab it in your fingers, then it's too loose and you want to make sure that you tighten it up. This is your retainer clip, or your chest clip, I like to call it, because if I call it a chest clip, where do you think it goes? Right in the middle of the chest. Okay, if I call it a retainer clip, you'd be like, oh, what's that? All right, chest clip goes right in the middle of the child's chest at the armpit level. This is what holds the harness straps on the child. If it were too low, then this hole becomes bigger and it's easy for the child to come out of the seat if you're involved in a crash. Okay, and all you do is pull that up to the middle of the child's chest, and it's going to keep them nice and snug in their car seat. Don't forget to get the hip straps around the child's hips. Sometimes parents kind of let them go and there's nothing that's holding the child in at the bottom. And make sure that all your buckles are connected and that the child is completely secure. Okay, so we have Louisiana law, and then we have best practice. Law's great. That'll keep you from getting a ticket. Okay, but your child's life is worth so much more than the price of a ticket. They're worth the world. Okay, so we go beyond the law and ask for more protection.
Right.
So the law requires that your child stay rear facing until they're 1 year and 20 pounds.
1 year.
And 20. So you have to be both. If you have a hunker, if you have a 3-month-old that's 22 pounds, that little sucker still has to face backwards even though they're over the 20 pounds.
Right.
Okay, now that's just the law. We ask as professionals, and because of everything that we see, all the deaths and all the injuries of our children, that you leave your child facing the back for as long as possible, at least until they're 2 years old. But if you have a car seat that'll let them stay facing the back for a longer period of time, great. Leave them facing the back for a longer period of time. But you want to leave them facing the back until they're at least 2. So that exceeds the law.
Now, Crystal, I see this thing here, and I've always wondered how that works as far as the little hook in the back of your seat in the car.
All right. That little hook is called your tether strap. Okay. If I had $1 for every time somebody said, I always wondered what that was for, okay, it's usually a brass or a metal anchor in your vehicle. If you have a car, it's usually in the back window. It's a little metal hook, okay? If you have an SUV, it may be on the back of the seat, or it might be on the floor or underneath the seat. You look in your owner's manual to find out where your anchor is. All you do is you attach this top strap to that anchor, and that holds your child's head back if you are involved in a crash. It keeps the seat pulled back towards the vehicle so that your child doesn't extend too far forward if you're involved in a wreck. And then you have these little anchors here. These are your lower anchor attachments. I told you that this one is usually at the top. These are usually in the crack of your vehicle seat, and all you do is attach one to each side, and you pull it tight, and this system replaces the seatbelt. You don't use the seatbelt and this system. You have to pick one or the other. If you do one right, you have all the protection that you need. I know most people think more is better, but in this case, more is not better. So you want to make sure that you're careful of that.
Crystal, I've had a question. People ask me too, if you come check my seat and you change my seat, can I have my old seat back?
If you come in with a seat that is recalled, expired, broken, and I am replacing your seat with another seat, I typically like to take the seat and destroy it to make sure that somebody else doesn't put another child in it and endanger their lives. Now, I'm not the car seat police, even though sometimes I like to believe that I am, and I have my keep my badge on. This tells you that I'm the car seat police. I can't legally take your stuff and say I'm not giving it back to you. But I will talk to you and let you know the dangers and ask that I do destroy it so that we don't endanger another child.
One other question. If someone goes to a garage sale, what do you see there as far as buying the right seat? I know they don't possibly look at the tags. What do you think about buying a seat from the garage sale?
We don't typically advise for buying used seats because you don't know the history of the seat. You don't know if it's been involved in a wreck. You don't know if it's been in the garage, in the plastic spending. You don't know any of that information. So we want you to know the history of the seat. So we usually recommend you to get a brand new seat so that you not endanger your child. And it's important for grandparents to know these kinds of things too. You know.
Let's turn this around one more time, Crystal. And look, it's getting time to close this segment out, and I want to tell you what a pleasure it is to have you with me.
Thank you for having me.
I know the folks are going to enjoy seeing the show, and once again tell Leslie and yourself that we're proud to be part of the coalition, and whatever we can do, me or my staff can do, we want to help you.
We are honored to be on board. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for being with us. Well, folks, we're going to close out this segment of our show, Baker Forward Fire Watch. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned Thursday nights at 6:30.